Recent headlines have reinforced a warning that Republicans and economic experts have been articulating literally for months. The massive spending Democrats insisted upon at the outset of the Biden administration was not in step with actual needs. Yesterday, I talked about some of the ways the multi-trillion-dollar spending spree rammed through in March has actually delayed our reopening and our recovery. About the disappointing fall-off in hiring, despite an historic number of open jobs. After Democrats renewed a federal program that pays people extra not to work. Well, here's another misplaced priority from that spending spree. Our Democratic friends' insistence on stuffing another wheelbarrow of cash into the accounts of state and local governments that were already rebounding from the crisis. Back in February, as Democrats insisted states were in dire need of another huge bailout, 29 of the 50 states were actually closing a 12-month chapter in which their revenues met or exceeded the year before. 29 of the 50 states were actually closing a 12-month chapter in which their revenues met or exceeded the year before the pandemic. The faster than expected economic recovery, combined with the 5 bipartisan bills Congress passed in 2020, left a lot of cities and states in even better shape exiting the pandemic than they were heading into it. Rising tax revenues had put these states in a position not only to weather pandemic-related downturns, but to fill in pre-existing budgetary potholes that actually had nothing to do with COVID hardships. But of course, that didn't stop Democrats from cramming nearly another $200 billion in state bailouts into the American Rescue Plan. Impressively, California got its hands on $26 billion of the $200 billion. And by the way, the state of California now claims it already has a budget surplus 3 times that size. 3 times that size of a budget surplus, and then we're sending them another $26 billion. They're having to brainstorm new ideas to spend the unneeded avalanche of cash. I understand the state's governor has come up with one idea he likes. He's planning to cut a timely round of state-level stimulus checks to include people in the country illegally, just in time for his recall election later this year. Is that the kind of urgent priority that Democrats had in mind when they used COVID to push through what they called the most progressive legislation in history? Experts warned it was poorly targeted. Republicans said American families deserved better. But the big catalog of political payouts was pushed right through. So let's remember exactly how this played out before we're doomed to repeat it again.